sort of start off good news and bad news. All right, so the good news is we finally had a good practice last Tuesday. We had officials in, we scrimmaged the scout team, and for the first time in a few weeks, I thought we really played like I would expect us to play. I hope we can continue that. We handled the ball really well, made the extra pass, we're engaged defensively, and played with pretty good purpose. That said, we had an injury on Tuesday. Samir Dowdy turned his ankle about early on in that scrimmage work. It's a high ankle sprain, and he's out for a few weeks. So the timing of his return, will be sometime in the first week or two of the season, I would imagine. Austin is out of his boot and progressing, and the timetable for his return would be similar, beginning of the season. Let's see. So if you start counting scholarships, you kind of understand why. For the last few years, there have been several times we've talked about this. Men's basketball, we have 13 scholarships. Women actually have 15 scholarships in the same sport, and a lot of that was done for Title IX reasons. And I've really never quite thought that 13 was enough, because I was a guy that played 10 guys double-digit minutes. I even had a team in Milwaukee that had 11 guys playing double-digit minutes. And so you sit one kid out, one guy gets hurt, next thing you know, you're right there. So we start the season with only 11 guys on scholarship. You guys all know we were kind of hoping for a very late addition in September. Didn't happen. And so we would have been at 12, but we're not. And Jamal Johnson is sitting out this year from transferring from Memphis, so that takes our 11th scholarship guy and then only gives us 10. And so then when Austin gets hurt, that gets us to 9. And then Samir gets hurt, that gets us to 8. And then Dangel's not eligible, that gets to 7. So that's kind of where we're at. So now you understand why I started this off as good news and bad news. So right now we got 7 scholarship guys out there. Gives me an opportunity to talk a little bit about Miles Parker. Miles Parker from Madison, Alabama, played at Madison Academy. Auburn's had great success, most notably in football, out of Madison Academy. And Hargrave Military also, you're a prep school. And he walked on this year. He had an opportunity to go some low Division I, maybe even some mid Division I coming out of high school, and then even prep school, and some different things took place. And next thing you know, it was sort of late in the summertime, and he really hadn't quite found a home yet. And in finding and not having really found that home, we found him and he found us, so for those of you who've been watching practice, Miles has been a very, very valuable practice player who now will be pushed into the regular rotation as we prepare this week. We've got a private inter-squad scrimmage this Saturday. We're going to learn a lot about our team. We're going to continue to get exposed. It's going to be great experience for us. And then the first time everybody's going to get a look at us will be next week when we play Lincoln Memorial on Tuesday. I believe that's right, yeah. The 2nd. And then we play our home opener. Actually, time out. The 2nd is going to be on Friday. Yeah. And then the home opener will be the 6th, the following Tuesday, against South Alabama. So that's kind of what the schedule is, and that's what the status of our team is.
Have you ever faced a similar situation in your coaching career where you've had, you said, basically 7 scholarship players?
I've never been faced with it this early in the season. So, no, not even close. Because 7 scholarships, if you have 13 scholarship guys on scholarship, that's like half your roster is available. What it's done, it's made some of the early practice season challenging. in the sense that it's been difficult to go best on best for a few weeks because we haven't really had 10. You know, we've had 8 or 9. But I could live with 8 or 9 and get down to 7. It gets to be really difficult. So it's disrupted our fall preseason camp as far as we had talked about trying to be good early. It's been harder to get good early when we have to play against the scout team so often because I don't have anybody else to play against.
Bruce,
So Saturday will be a big step up in competition for us.
obviously it puts pressure on everybody, but a guy like Malik, will he kind of slide into that 3 role now and be the guy because of this depth concern?
Well, I mean, it's all 6 that remain, or 6 or 7 that remain are all going to be required to do more. They're all going to play heavier minutes. It might not enable me to press as much, might not enable me to force tempo as much if we're only going to play 7 or 8 guys. But you're right, yeah, anybody that's still healthy is now going to get an opportunity to do more. I think a great example of that would be for Malik would be last year when we went to Georgia and Bryce was hurt, and so we were down a guy and Malik moved into a more of a dominant rotation. When we hosted Alabama at the end of the year, Mustafa was out and we were at 7 scholarship guys. Malik was one of those 7 and stepped up in a bigger, more dominant role. So yeah, it's an opportunity for everybody.
What type of a preseason is Chuma having, and how's he changed from a year ago when he came in as a freshman?
He's having a good preseason. Chuma's made a lot of progress with his body. He's very athletic. He's got great instincts. He's one of our smartest players. He's able to put himself in the right place at the right time because he knows the game. He can guard multiple positions. He's been a little bit more aggressive. But one of the reasons why Chuma isn't as aggressive as I'd like him to be, or even our team would like him to be, is if he's on the floor with 4 other guys that are trying to be aggressive because they're either older or also good players. You know, Chuma is a very unselfish player. And so I've put the question to the team. I may be repeating myself. I've said this before, but all right, who here thinks Chuma should be a little more aggressive? And everybody will say, I do. Okay, great. Okay. So which one of you are going to do less so he can do more? Crickets. And a couple guys stepped up and said, Coach, I'll do less. But the point is, Chuma picks his spots. But his progression will really go a long way towards to what kind of team we're going to have this year.
Do you feel like guys will have to go 40 minutes, or they're able to, or no?
No, we don't play 40. No, there'll be some mid-30s, but no, we don't play 40.
What does Miles get? Kind of his game, or what is he going to bring?
Miles has got good size, about 6'6". You've got him listed here at 6'8". I guess everybody looks 6'8" to you. I got 6'8" right here, 200. I'm like,
Hey, check with Clark on that one.
yeah, well, maybe the high top hair gets him up to 6'8".
Yeah.
But he's a good athlete. Even though he's a walk-on freshman, he went to a year of prep school, so he's a little older. He can shoot the ball. He's not afraid, and so I imagine when he's out there, he'll look like he belongs out there. And so it's kind of a godsend that things didn't work out as well for him. And of course, he's a great fit at Auburn because he's such a good student, such a great kid, great family. His family's always made tremendous sacrifice for him to be able to go to Madison Academy in Huntsville, to be able to go to Hargrave Military in Virginia. Education to the family is so very important. And so they put Miles in position, and all of a sudden, I think he got a little bit of blessing here. And I know we've gotten some blessing by having him.
Can Miles play 2 for you guys?
Play 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah, play 2 or 3.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.